Hello gang, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever Peninsula, and tearing into view is a brand new Halley tram that we've deployed on our 4-stop tram route that we set up last time round. And there it is. It's in view. It's loading up, and as routes go, this one's making good money pretty much immediately. We're maybe a year on from where I left off because I did the upgrade while you were away. I figured it wasn't the most riveting thing to watch. So I've electrified the route, which was not inexpensive. Call this old sucker up here. What did we spend? We spent 291 grand just upgrading it. Oucha! But the upshot should be pretty pleasing. Fingers crossed. Once the trams space out a little bit, I've been doing a little bit of manual spacing myself just to keep that rolling along. You'll see that the bank balance is looking pretty good. That's although I did borrow I borrowed 500 grand to do the upgrading, so I've just paid that back. The balance is looking mediocre. There you go. Now that's realistic. But we do have plenty of opportunity for upside here, as we can see. You've got a full tram's worth going in one direction. You've got, well, 3 trams worth heading the other way. So I could probably put a couple more on there and maybe make some moolah. But we won't be making moolah today because that's not the kind of channel that we are. Instead, I shall go looking for other prospects of this kind, just in case I can't make a second train route, third, fourth, a train route work. As is traditional to start the show, we shall have a look at the runners and riders as far as routes are concerned. Who's causing us pain right now? The Gen 1 Zion Rapture is still doing a bit of damage, but it does on occasion flip into profitability, so that's not too bad. The intercity between... Interesting. Between Twin Peaks and Toonville. Actually, Twin Peaks is right in the middle of nowhere, or right on the edge of nowhere, I should suggest. So it's unsurprising that that's not really paying off. However, let's look at the good news. And here it is. The brand new route has immediately leapt into the running. In fact, these are both my tram routes, and they're both looking pretty strong. It has to be said. Now, we haven't actually had to replace any of these bus routes yet because the Oblisson, it has a slightly longer lifespan than the horse and cart. But our 2 main train routes, 150 grand profit a throw, not bad at all. And don't forget, of course, that the Bingo Hazmat, which is running on the Toon Elmo, is now over its lifespan. No, Arc Iron is over its... I'll shut up and just build something, shall we? Right, now, if you did not see the last episode, I invite you to do so, because we started out by trying to plumb in a new train line and an abandoned ship on that when it proved to be unworkable. Well, it's not unworkable, it's just going to be very expensive. So over here at Elmore is where we started out, and the level of descent that you have coming from the station here toward the line into Rapture is horrendous. So much so that I'm going to need a helix or something equally clever to get around this descent, because it doesn't actually hit the full descent point until around here, and you're going to be running bridge the entire way. No. Which is a bit of a shame, because Rapture was where I was hoping to expand from, because I want to make Rapture expand itself. And look at it, it's glorious. This is a magical piece of road going out there. I don't think we're going to get any more houses on there, but maybe we get a nice viewing point or some such on the end. That'll be jolly. So yeah, the town's population is not what you might call significant. Here are our contestants, and Rapture is now up to 85. It was the 3rd smallest, not anymore. No, it is now the 6th smallest. So still some work to be done. On the positive end, Mos Eisley has hit 500. Very nice indeed. Actually, that's remarkably good growth going for the stage of the game that we're at. But I'm still looking for a viable another train target that is hopefully going to build on something that we've got already. Now, Zion would appear to be quite good, but everything in that direction, or east, as we like to describe it, is uphill. No, that's not gonna work. We want somewhere ideally on the flat. Here's Twin Peaks, and it might conceivably have a route that runs into Iron Forge. Then again, it might conceivably not. You have to zoom in before you can actually understand anything. So Arkham Iron Forge is working. See, Arkham to Hogsmeade, you go, yeah. Then you look at the slope and you go, no, that's not going to work. Asgard is in the same gully here. Now, it might prove to be a little bit expensive towards the end, and it is one of our most profitable coach routes. Now, previously I vetoed that because it's one of our most profitable coach routes, but on reflection, that means that it should build up passengers fairly swiftly. So we can mirror the road that is already out there. Well, look at that. If we can snake a station into there, then I think we are go for launch. Let's have a look. How much are you going to charge me for this? Go on, tell me the bad news. 300 grand, and you can't quite align the terrain. Well, what if I paddle a little bit and we try and get you to figure the terrain out? No, I can't understand what's happening. Oh, I'd pay 300 grand, because that's brilliant catchment you've got there. But I don't think it's a flyer. Okay, well, what about over here? Because the catchment here is not going to be dreadful, and you've saved quite a bit in doing that. Actually, the catchment isn't good. Also, make sure you're pointing the right way, won't you, Tiger? So we could go to Ironforge, or we could go to Arkham, or we could do both and turn it into a nice little triangular route. Wouldn't that be jolly? It would. What about over here? Well, the cost is a little higher. You're going to have to do some kind of level crossing to make that work. And then, I mean, the good news, and I use the term loosely, is that all of the greatest expense is going to be had right here. So this section here is going to be the expensive bit to traverse. 130k for a station isn't bad. And the catchment should be adequate. Is there anywhere else that we could stick this? Well, you could come at it from a slightly different angle here. Connect onto there. Because what I'm not doing right now is thinking about the future. And I probably should be, but I'm not. We've just rolled past the end of the year, which is why my cash dipped dramatically, because we've just paid the loan back. That's unfortunate if I'm going to be spending mega buxos on this kind of endeavour. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but I think we're going to go with the cheapie. I've got £1 million worth of loan available. Yeah, is that going to be enough? Yeah, unless you go berserk, you should be fine. Yeah, you've seen me do this before, though, right? Berserk is it's one way to describe my my shtick. Why are you only 25? Oh, we've switched, of course. We're now in Imperial again, folks. So it's going to take me a little while to get back to grips with thinking in Imperial rather than metric. So 25 miles per hour is the equivalent of 60. Is it? Probably. No, it's not. It's the equivalent of 40. All right. Okay. There you go. Oh, lovely bit of bridge. If you'll get over there, that'd be smash. In fact, it seems to want to get over there. So we'll wait till the 78 grand is available, and then we'll have that. That's jolly scenic. 78 grand, please. I can't wait that long. Let's take the money. Let's run with it. Okay, we're off. Now then, where am I going? Yeah, I know. So what we'll do is we'll aim for a connection here, and then we'll maybe try a triangle that does something like that, because that's going to save me some track laying cost. In fact, we could probably let's beeline it now, and see what sort of charge it wants to levy on us. 500,000. Okay, and that's the no due care and attention. But my gosh, isn't that a straight line approach? Why are we getting a bit of chug here? My apologies, getting a bit of chug. Could just be because I've set up an expensive looking bit of track. Now we can do that cheaper by not gouging through the land quite so much. Yeah, save the money. Okay, right. So what are you gonna do? Well, we'll do a little bit at a time. So we're going to. This is going to be lumpy. All right, everybody, brace yourselves. Lumpy track incoming. Right. All right. So look, if I do that first. So if we go, no, that's too much downhill. That much. Then it means that we're going to have a slightly undulating track. Now, later on, when I do think about the future, I'm thinking about the future, we will replace track that has been placed before, but what we won't do is we won't change the route. So whatever route layout I have now, we might refine it where I've had to do something completely hideous. But what we won't do is completely change the course of things. Further tracks coming in. I'm also hoping. It depends what's viable, really, but I'm intending to leave legacy tracks in place, even if they're not being used anymore. Right. What's the damage to there? So as you can see, that's now only 168. There's a bit of construction required here. So if we back up to there, and then manually do something with that. What's that? 83? Nope. 45? Yes. No. Yes. In fact, you could back up to that one and get rid of that. No. This is far enough. 47 is pretty respectable price. And then last bit, 153. No. Up. Up some more? Yeah. 72. 59. Hut. And then a little bit from there. I think that's about right. Let's settle for that. That works for me. Leaving us 820 in the bank, and obviously that's ticking up a little bit. It'll be adjusted at month end. You have left yourself quite a severe turn here, but it means we get to retire some more buses, which is good. Whoa, gently. What was that all about? Too much slope? No, there's not too much slope. Is there too much slope? Well, if the game says there's too much slope, then it thinks there is. I don't know why it wants to do that. All right, so that's maximum downhill, and you are a little bit further away than you'd like. So where's the no longer too much slope angle option layup system? You don't want a tunnel. Can you get round there? No, it's still too much slope there, friendo. Well, you're not my friendo then, are you? Okay, right. Well, we'll stick with plan A, which is just to connect this up to wherever that is, Arkham. This should be quite a straightforward moneymaker. And also, I'm not even going to double track it. No, I'm living right on the edge. We won't double track. Instead, what we'll go with. Yeah, I know this track is wonky as anything. But it's, there's cowboys and stuff running around the place, so everything's a bit wonky. So if we stick a signal there and we stick a signal here, then they should space out, because that is almost the halfway point. It's really not far off being the halfway point. So you've got a slightly longer section there, which could cause a bit of trouble. So maybe a small period of double track here would do the job. But we'll get to that. Right, let's set this up as a route and see how it decides to interact with us out to there. So Asgard to Arkham. Now, before I press on, is that a bus route? Secondly, that's trains, you Burke. Commuter, right, so what we're looking for, Asgard Arkham, Ark-Asg. It's not, we're not replacing a route. Ah, good. Okay, well that's good then. Then this should make me some Mondo cash. Intercity, you never know. Asgard No, there's no rud in there. Okay. 2, where are we going? Arc. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Happy? I think I might be. All right. So, now then, we want to run something cheap on here. But if we can get one that has a slightly higher turn of speed, that would be good, because that will then offset the additional length of track that it's got. We have plenty to play with. I don't want to bet the farm at the present time. What are we running on there at the moment? Hold on, let's find out. What are you? Yes, that's a station. Well done. No, you. What are you? You're a train. Oh, you're the D3rd. Okay. Buy trains. How much is the D3rd then? 25 miles per hour, 68 horsepower. Okay. That's a few horses. So its running cost of 20k a year. Nice and cheap. That's viable. 40 miles per hour, extra horsepower, and it's a Baldwin 420. That could work. Cindy Vapage is due retirement. And then what would you do with that? So you need a 40 mile per hour coach that isn't too expensive to run. And the problem you get is that some of these are very expensive to run. Now, I've got all manner of British stuff going on here, but I think you're stuck with these passenger cars. 31's okay, but that means a 40 mile per hour train is overkill. What about this passenger car? Same deal. 25k a year for 8 passengers versus 14 passengers at 45. They're actually balanced. Okay, there's no hacks going on there. I think the Baldwin might be out of luck, but it's not the only fish in the sea. 55k for the American 440. Let's have a look. I mean, you're starting to. I mean, with each one of these, you're looking at a greater level of expense in just running the thing. But I do want to run something that is, a little bit more unusual. And look at all these lovely steam beauties that we've got to choose from. What about the Queenslander? 235k a year, Gov. It's a bit more suited for a really, really big freight train. I don't want a really big freight train. I've got no freight, for starters. What about this London Northwestern? Again, $250,000 a year. Cheapy Prussian? No. I think you might need to just keep it simple for now. What about this fictional 460? Well, if it's fictional, I could use coaches from anywhere. But again, no, it's not. It's just not there. What about this London Northwestern? Too expensive. Keep it cheap. This is not. There's no rocket science involved in any of this. Keep it cheap for now, and then later on we'll go for something more excitable. All right. Well, back to the Baldwin then. The price is right. Okay, the price is right. We're having one. Top speed 40 miles per hour. Okay. So what do you do? 31. Okay, now 31 is not 40 miles per hour, but I don't think we've got anything suited. Only these. Now 72k running cost, 45k running cost. This one goes fast. This one does not. I think you go for the one that does not. We can only afford 2 coaches right now. We can get to 3 coaches. Done. Okay, sold. I'll take it. Don't wrap it, I'll ride it home. And other such. Oh, it's Gen 1. I got naming convention wrong. Okay, right, fine. So you are a Gen 1. Gen 1. Right. Well, it made a good noise, look. Yes, it made a good noise, look. What exactly are we looking at? There you go. That's nice. There we are. It's doing its merry dance. And with a bit of luck, that will turn into a profit monkey in pretty short order. We need it to be a profit monkey. Anything other than that, and we're going to be sat around for a bit. Also, is it a capital G? No, it is not a capital G. You have broken the naming convention for the last time. It's much like the Geneva Convention. One should not do that. There you go. There are rules. Now, if I've got my calculations right, and admittedly the calculations were what I could conjure up in my head in between sentences, then the turnaround time on this, given that it's a little bit more powerful to do this leg, shouldn't be too disparate to this leg here. I don't know, I'm way off. You're definitely going to need to double track this section. Yeah, that's a certainty. Right, we've got a PLM, we've got the Cannstatt has turned up, which is super, but we don't do freight yet. I emphasise yet because it will be coming. Now, you're also starting to hurt your earnings by keeping stuff waiting. But we're only keeping stuff waiting because we haven't yet done any kind of synchronization type behavior. You got anyone waiting for us? No one's waiting there. What about the other end? No one at that end either. Now, we could probably set up a little Asgard commuter bus route here. And what I've also done previously is I've moved the main bus stop next to the station in order to hopefully, fuel a little bit of extra demand. It's very tempting for me to do a little bit of hookup there, but I have an inkling that the AI might be about to do that of its own volition. So rather than me pay the money, I'll wait for the clowns to sort it out. Right, what are we doing here? 21 miles per hour. You're capable of 31. Those carriages will do 31. I am not getting from you a sense of great acceleration. Now, that is probably due to the fact that I've put 3 very heavy Pullman wagons on the back of that, and they are very heavy. So there's not a lot you can do. Right, as is traditional, we shall ride along and see just how horrendous the lumpiness of the track is here. It should be pretty reasonable for at least part of the journey, because I paid the full whack to get it done. But we'll probably go through a little bit of lumpiness at the start. This isn't too bad. Obviously, level crossings I built by going over the road, which is just a big no-no, friends. But I wasn't about to do it the other way because that would have cost me cash. So we've got a little bit of it looks like we've got a slight incline and then decline. We're up to top speed there briefly. We hit 31. I know, everyone in the back has got party poppers going. Or rather, they would have party poppers going if there were anyone in the back. However, since there isn't anyone in the back, there are no party poppers. The party poppers in this case are largely metaphysical in nature. And who doesn't love a good metaphysical party? I've explored about as much of that as I possibly can, I think. I'll tell you, this map, as much as it's a right swine to actually build anything, it does not throw up some decent views on occasion, and I'm not using the natural environment mod at the moment. This is all vanilla. Yeah, this looks as it does in a flavour of ice cream. So it's not half bad. But what I'm waiting for, or what I'm looking forward to, is the point at which I've got 5-6 million in profit per year. It'll happen because I'm having to be frugal. When I've got 5-6 million profit per year, and I can go into a town and nuke quite a lot of it before smoothing it out and making it so that it can rebuild in a more swanky fashion. That's going to be great when we get to that point. That's going to be jolly good fun. Right, I think we've got 1 passenger. Good times were had by all. Now then, where is the competition? So he's just exited from Arkham. Now you've got a downhill section to start off with, so you should hit acceleration reasonably well. Now the reason that this is important is because it will allow me to measure where the double track needs to reach. Or rather, I think actually it's in between both this run and then the subsequent flip around. I'm doing all kinds of hand signals here that you can't see. So the flip around where you've got the existing route waiting at this signal, while the Asgard Arkham here is turning around. I've named it. Oh, in which case you're going to be exponential. There we go. Tyrone has entered the building. and you just turn that off and you were trying to monitor it. It's just details. So the dream would be that this would reach the signal at about the same time as that does, and it's going to be close, but you've got uphill coming towards the end of that, so we've got a clear winner here. What are you currently doing? 17 miles per hour versus 29. So the speed difference there is going to keep things a little closer. And it will, and basically, since we've just done a dry run of this, this is definitely going to work out. The only question is when this chap here is doing his short leg, how much time does he have to spend waiting at this signal? Because that's where we're just basically throwing money away. Even if it does mean that we end up with a larger number of people waiting to be transported at the other end. Okay, right, there's the Gulf. So this way around is no problem at all. Now, by double tracking, and I suspect it'll be to around there, maybe just a little further. And what we're going to do is when this starts heading back the other way, is we're going to pretend to be that train using the mouse cursor. Yeah, you could get used to this view. We're going to be stuck here for a minute. In fact, let's up the tempo so we're not stuck here any longer than we absolutely need to be, because, you know, that would be sensible. Right, it's down to 9 miles per hour because this last bit is all uphill, and they're actually going to hit station at exactly the same time. All right, almost exactly the same time. Right, here we go. Here's the test. Now, we've got a good lead coming from Tyrone. Hazmat is, however, closing in on the signal. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the... slow that down. So we're now pretending to be the train, and what I'm going to try and do is track along at around the right kind of speed. Come on, come on. It's very slow. Right. You're now waiting, so the signal needs to be here. Okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, genuinely, that's not an enormous construction project. Right, okay, let's zoom in and make it happen. Right, okay, what's the fast route of attack here? We'll just double track it up and then, you know, some points and what have you. All right, good. That's stuff I've done that before. So if we do. Oh, hold on. Yeah, well, no. Instead of don't think of this as double track. Think of it as 2 sections of single track that we're going to do. And I'm going to put the merger just as we come out of the tree line. That feels too far. It does feel too far, but that's fine. It gives us a little bit of a little bit of extra space should we need it. Right. So if we put that in there, keep the speed up. 50 will do. We're not going to be exceeding 50 for a little while. So we stick a signal on there and a signal on here. So I'm basically just changing the nature of the of this triangle that we've got going on. Triangle, is it? Quiet. So I mangled the pronunciation a little bit. What's your problem? Right, get rid of you and that. And how much is that? Yeah, that was fine. And that, right. And then we rock this one down into there like so. And then we rock this one down into there like that. Okay, good. Right, that should work perfectly. And then when we start running more trains, we're going to need something a little bit more complicated to cope with that. But what this should mean in the short term is that nobody has to wait. There is, however, a potential problem with that, and that is that's going to change the complexion of the overlap. Oh yeah, you see, I've seen all of this coming. The complexion of the overlap, because this train may now end up waiting down here. Have you got the signal on the wrong side? You have. See, and I didn't see that. It occurred to me that I'd probably put it on the wrong side. So use am I to doing things properly. Right, good. I think we're golden. I think we've got it. There you go. What do you know? We've connected up. Whichever town is, it's Arkham. All right. Just remember any of the town names at any point. If it's not coastal, mate, I'm not going to memorize it. But we've got some progress. We've also got a passenger or two waiting up there. That's a promising start. Obviously, we're eating into our profitability in the short term, while we build up demand for this particular connection. But given the size of these two towns, that shouldn't take too long. Right, let's hook ourselves up with something scenic, and then I shall bid you a fond farewell. Because something scenic is always quite nice. I quite like this little kink in the track. I know it's horrible, but I think it represents the finest something. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching. The money's going the right way. I think if I can maybe set up one or two more tram replacement services for some of those intercities, it will mean that fewer vehicles on the road will lead to a period of high profit, given their relative lack of running cost. If you've got a tram recommendation in terms of mod, fling it in the comments, because I really want to see those tram possibilities. We're looking at around between 1890 and 1910, let's say. If by 1910 I can be working a little bit more profitably, that'd be grand. The Landauer is now available. Now, the Landauer only does 5 passengers, or either 5 or 6 passengers, but it is quite quick. Yes. Whether or not we care about that remains to be seen. I've been Colonel Failure. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, because this is what I do. And if you made it this far, then clearly you have some level of appreciation of what I do. So you should subscribe so you can do that more often. I'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching. Don't collide the Colonel Cam into the train. You want a Superman alongside it. See, look, we already can't keep up. Cheerio. Hey, look. Whoa. Almost profitable. Again, going from profitable to unprofitable is a biannual process at the moment, because I invest in something brand new and spangly and interesting and so forth, and it takes a little bit of time to bed in. That's okay. That's the nature of the beast. However, I'm not joking when I say that I'm going to get to a million profit per year position, a multi-million profit per year position, and I'm hoping to do so by, let's say, 1930 at the latest, because I want to start remodeling the towns while they still have lots of growth energy in them, so that we can start to get some big stuff laid up. So that might mean that rather than my usual approach, which is connect 2 towns, connect another town, connect some more towns, connect, all with trains, I'll go for whatever feels like the smartest move to make the most money in the process. I still want to mix it up enough. It's why I'm not just replacing all of those original bus routes with trams, because that's paying off dividends immediately. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to still keep a certain amount of variety in the spice of life and the mix of everything, but we are chasing down the bucks so that we can do some hectic remodeling, or not, as the case may be.